Hi all, welcome to Salesforce in 5 minutes. In this video, we are going to understand what is a validation rule in Salesforce. So let's say if I'm going to take an example of an account. So if I'm going to create a new account and I want that no matter what, the active checkbox must be checked before creating an account. So before creating an account, is active checkbox must be checked under any conditions. In such cases, we usually write a validation rule. So basically validation rule is just used in order to validate the record. So the validation rule will just validate whether the active checkbox is true or not. If the active checkbox is not true, then in such cases the validation rule will get fired and it will show an error saying that the active checkbox of an account must be active or must be checked, whatever. Okay, so this is how the validation rule works. It will just validate the record whether it is matching the condition or not. So validation rule can be also considered as a formula. If it becomes true, then only it will fire an error. So let's create a validation rule that which will validate whether the record is active or not. So for that, first go to the account object and then go to the validation rules. Right now I do not have any validation rule. I'll just create a new validation rule. Account must be. So we are just trying to this is the name of the validation rule, and I have made it as active, so it will work only if it is active. If it is inactivated, it won't work. So now we will go to the fields. We want to check whether the account is active is true or not. So I'm just going to insert the field is active, and the validation rule will fire only when it is true. So if I'm just going to add the condition over here. So if is active checkbox is not ticked. If it is not checked, then it will throw an error. The error message would be added over here. Now I'll explain the whole validation rule. This is where I have added just the name of the validation rule to determine what it is actually doing. Active checkbox is used to check whether the validation rule right now is active or not. And this is our formula. Description is not mandatory, but this is the formula. You have to provide the formula. Now if the formula is true, then it will show this error message. So now if is active checkbox is not true, if it is not checked, in such cases the error message will fire. Please check the is active checkbox before creating or updating the account. Now this is the place where we have to show the message. Whether do we need to show the message on the top of the page or on a particular field, we can show that. So right now if you want to show it as on is active checkbox field, we can just add on the specific field and just click on save. So now the validation rule is activated. If I go to the account and I refresh, and if right now if I try to create an account without checking the checkbox, the validation rule is fired, saying that please check the account, please check the is active checkbox is checked. So this is how we create a validation rule, and this is what is the functionality of the validation rule. I hope you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel.